You know, yesterday's episodes of The Last Dance were pretty much an explanation of the importance of Dennis Rodman. And for any of you young kids that had never seen Dennis Rodman play, do yourself a favor. Watch a couple of games of Dennis Rodman and just watch how he performs on the basketball court. Yesterday, you got to see why Dennis Rodman was the most important player on that Bulls championship team. Okay, and why Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman were the best trio in basketball history, bar none. Okay, so you got to see a glimpse of how Dennis Rodman was able to perform and was able to, blend along with Jordan and Pippen. Now, you got to remember something. Coming in from Detroit, during that whole Pistons and Bulls rivalry, Pitt, Rodman was a huge pest against Michael Jordan and against Scottie Pippen. But his defensive prowess, his ability to play defense, when Dennis Rodman was young in his days in Detroit, the best all-around defender in NBA. Okay, he could defend all five positions. When he got older, when he was playing with Chicago, he could still defend, but he was more better at facing against bigger guys than against quick, uh, small and powerful forwards. But he could still play the game and still play great team defense, and his motor and hustle at both ends of the floor really speaks volumes of how great of a player he was. Now, there have been a lot of people this week trying to put Draymond Green in the class of a Dennis Rodman. Yesterday's episodes put that to rest. All right, Dennis Rodman is beyond a different class than Draymond Green. Okay, now when you look at basketballreference.com, okay, from 1992 all the way towards 1998, for 7 straight seasons, he led the NBA in rebounding. Okay, 91 92, 18.7 rebounds. 92 93, 18.3. 93 94, 17.3. 94 95. And remember, he only played 49 games because he injured his shoulder due to a motorcycle accident. And still at the NBA rebound with 16.8 rebounds. His first season in Chicago, 14.9. Okay. 96 97, 16.1. 97 98, his final season in Chicago, a grand total of 15 rebounds per game. So for career stats, he averaged 13.1 rebounds per game for his entire career. The one thing that Dennis Rodman was so brilliant was he was a really good defender and knew how to play his role to perfection. He was not worried about scoring points. He wasn't worried about making passes, even though he was a really good passer out of the high post, which is why him in the triangle offense worked perfectly because he was able to pass out of the high post or in the low post there too, while Jordan and Pippen and the other guys were cutting. Okay, but the reason why Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer is for this reason: his hustle, his grit, and he's the kind of person that never causes any problems to a team. Now, if you put Dennis Rodman on a different team without strong personalities like a Jordan or a Pippen around, he would become a distraction. Okay. And the problem I saw with Draymond Green is simply is this. As passionate of a personality he is very disruptive. And he causes issues on the court because he don't know how to contain himself. He's very highly emotional and he never finds a way to pull himself back. Why do you think he's always been one of the league leaders in technical fouls and ejections? Okay. Specifically, when you look back at the 2016 NBA Finals, when he decided to almost try to give LeBron James a low blow, all right, and got himself suspended. Draymond Green should have known better and backed away, but he didn't do that. All right. Now, when you look at career achievements, Dennis Rodman was a 2-time All-Star. Draymond Green was a 3-time All-Star. I give him that. Rodman was a 7-time rebounding champion. Uh, Draymond Green has never won a rebounding title. Okay. And let's be honest here. Draymond Green's Defensive Player of the Year award was basically a manufactured award because it was supposed to belong to Kawhi Leonard. He should be a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm always going to be persistent on that argument. Rodman won the Defensive Player of the Year in 1990 and in 1992. All right. He was 8-time all defensive team, okay? And he is in the Hall of Fame. And when you win 5 championships with 2 great teams, that lets you know that you play your role to perfection. Like I said, his highest total was basically 11.6 points per game during the 87-88 season. But if Rodman wanted to be a scorer, he could, but he chose not to because he knew that his value and his contribution was defense and rebounding. He even said one time he would be glad to not score any points and grab 30 rebounds. Imagine that. Imagine a player in today's basketball saying that. That would be a rare thing. But it's never going to happen because those type of players don't exist anymore, you know? And the one thing I will say about Draymond Green is simply as this: he can bring the ball up the floor and he can be an extra ball handler, but the problem is he's turnover prone. And listen, people say that Draymond Green is a good on-ball defender. The last time I checked in the 2019 NBA Finals, both Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard took their turns picking apart Draymond Green's defense. All right? That's what I remember the most. You understand what I'm saying? And listen, Draymond Green is the reason why Kevin Durant left Golden State. It wasn't because Kevin Durant was going to be a free agent and he could have signed elsewhere. And listen, Kevin Durant is the reason why the Warriors have 2 more championships. If he wasn't there, if they would have continued to have the same roster after 2016 when they won 73 games, I think they would have lost another final series to LeBron James and the Cavaliers. All right? Kevin Durant is the reason why the Warriors have 2 more championships, bar none. All right? And for Draymond Green to basically crap on him during the game, all right, I would never see Dennis Rodman ever do that to anybody because he is a guy that respects the players around his teams, okay? And Dennis Rodman, yeah, he could be a bit of a tough cookie to handle, all right? Now, when you saw in the documentary last night, he was on vacation. He always partied and had a good time. You know what I mean? And he really was a kind of person that didn't cause problems with teammates. Okay, he does a lot of his craziness off the court. Okay, and when you bring in Dennis Rodman, you have to set a set of rules and a set of things for Dennis Rodman so he could basically you get the best out of him. And if you don't have a strong coach like a Chuck Daly or a Phil Jackson to handle the personality of a Dennis Rodman, he would basically become an distraction. All right. And basically would become too much for teammates to handle with. All right. Now, there is the other side of Dennis where he also gets confrontational with the referees too. You know what I mean? I remember him, throwing a headbutt towards the referee in '96 in New Jersey. Okay. He also kicked a cameraman in Minneapolis in '97. I was there for that game too. All right, when I was a young boy. Okay. And he was also a guy that could always tangle up with the big guys. But I'd never seen Dennis Rodman throw a punch, kick anybody ever. While Draymond Green has kicked people, he's always thrown low blows and he always throws little elbows in between. All right, and it's not to say that Dennis Rodman throws his own elbows too, but he uses his elbows perfectively to try to box you out. All right. The one thing that I love about what Dennis Rodman is that he knows how to take your best offensive weapons away and make you think about him than to think about scoring points. With Draymond Green, he always talks trash, but he's basically highly emotional. And if you can get into Draymond Green's head, you basically got him beat. All right. And so last night's episodes really much explain to you how important Dennis Rodman is to the Bulls and to the Pistons when they were winning championships. And this is why he belongs in the Hall of Fame and he belongs in a higher stratosphere than Draymond Green. And I'm going to keep saying it until it rings to all the trolls' ears. Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. His accomplishments and everything he did in his basketball career does not equivalent Hall of Fame status. If you put Draymond Green with any other team, he would suck. He would totally suck. All right? That's just the bottom line. That's just the facts of the matter. Okay? And the truth of the matter is this: Draymond Green would have not won any of those championships with the Chicago Bulls. And if he were playing with Jordan and Pippen, Draymond Green would crack under the pressure. He wouldn't be able to handle the relentless yelling and screaming that Michael Jordan always did to his teammates. You had to have a strong mind when you're playing with Michael Jordan. And Draymond Green would not be able to handle it. He wouldn't. He would crack under the pressure and basically would walk out of practice. That's just the fact. That's just the truth of the matter. I know how Draymond Green think and how he move. All right. Dennis Rodman, he just keeps it to himself. He just practices. He stays in shape. And when it came down to game time, he knows how to keep that self-focus when his team needs him the most. And particularly when Pippen was basically sitting out, for 35 games with foot surgery, Dennis Rodman had to be the second best player on the team. He had to, do his job at a higher level while making sure that he didn't get into confrontations with the referees to where he got ejected. All right. So I hope that this video can pretty much put to bed the notion of why Dennis Rodman belongs in the Hall of Fame and why he was so important to those Bulls championship teams. And if you haven't watched the episodes yet, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and watch those episodes because you're going to enjoy what you're going to see out of Dennis Rodman. But that's just my 2 cents on the situation. Let me know what you guys think.